Hello, my lovely stitchy friends. How are you? My name is Sally and I'm Flossie Sews and Grows on here, YouTube and on Instagram. And welcome to a Flosstube Extra. So welcome if you're new. This isn't going to be my usual floss tube. If you'd like to see that, there's about 50 behind me. So go and have a watch. That'd be great. And there should be a new floss tube out, normal one, next week where you'll see all my current stitching. If you're a regular viewer, hi, welcome back. Here is my promised Box of Doom video. I've been promising this for a couple of videos and decided that I really need to get it filmed and show it to you, and then get on with finishing some of my stitched projects that are just sat here. So I must have, I think, about 40 projects that are sat in here. Some of them, quite a lot of them from last year, 2024, but there's quite a number from 2023 as well. And I think we might also find some in there from 2022 even. So yeah, so there's a lot in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and have a think about, show them all to you, have a think about what I'm going to do with them. I've got a number of things here on the trusty ironing board that I potentially could use to finish them. So I've got to put them all here, and perhaps as I go through, if I have a look and think, oh yeah, that's going to look really good, or I could use that, then I'll show it to you. But if I don't and we get to the end and it's still on the trusty ironing board, I then might just show you anyway and think about, you know, maybe why I bought it, or where I found it, or someone gave it to me and said I thought this might be useful for your cross stitch, just to kind of give you some ideas and inspiration maybe, so that you can perhaps go away and fully finish some of your finished objects after this. That's really what I'm hoping. And I've had a brilliant response the last couple of videos that I've done where I've mentioned the Box of Doom and said, oh, I'm thinking about doing it, and so many people have said, oh yes, please, it'd be absolutely fantastic. It would really give me a push to, or a bit of inspiration, push to get things finished, or a bit of inspiration to get on and get some things fully finished. So I really hope that it does. And I think the plan is, so it's April the 11th today. It's the last day of school before 2 weeks of time off for the Easter holidays. I'm working next week, but I'm off the week after. But I still need to do some study as well for, I'm doing a professional qualification for my job. So I still need to do some study too. So that's 2 weeks. I'm thinking of setting myself a challenge. I think I'm going to say 6 weeks. I think I'm going to say 6 weeks, or maybe we should just do, yeah, end of May. So there's so off school for 2 weeks now, and then kids go back, and then there's another holiday. The last week of May is another week of school holiday, and actually at the end of that week I have the Wrexham retreat, so that might be a really good plan to get lots of these things fully finished that I can take and put on the brag table at the Wrexham retreat. Fabulous idea, absolutely fabulous idea. So yeah, I've also got, I've got a box of fabric in front of me as well. I probably, if I suddenly think of something that's going to go really, really well with something, I might just delve in and pick it out. And I've also got a box underneath it of frames, and I did think I was going to pull that out and kind of go, oh look, I've got this frame or that frame I could use, but probably not with frames. I think probably what I'll kind of do is anything that I think I want to get framed or frame myself, I will kind of put that to one side, and then perhaps have a think about whether I've got a frame, whether I need to take it perhaps to the Nimble Thimble to get it framed there, or whether I need to go and try and find a frame that will suit it, or if I can use any of these things that I've got here. So I'm probably not going to tell you an awful lot. I'll tell you what I know about each thing. You will have seen most of these in previous floss tubes. But you know, some of these I'm on, I think the last floss tube I filmed was number 57, and so yeah, so some of these are no doubt from before I started Flosstube. Yeah, so let's go for it and let's just see what happens. I've got no script today. I'm just totally doing this off the cuff, and yeah, so I think my goal is to show you all these today, and then that last week in May, I will try and aim to film again and show you everything that I finished. And I don't know how many we'll count. I'll do when I edit, I will have counted everything up, or we can kind of count as we go. Maybe I should have a piece of paper somewhere to keep a bit of a tally on how many we've got. And yeah, I don't know, maybe say I need to try and finish half of them, fully finish half of them. Let me know what you think. Give me a challenge. Challenge me. Trusty cup of tea. Really need this today. I'm not a big fan of drinking on Flosstube, but there we go. And I have got my cross-stitch journal, which it's got everything in here that I stitched last year in my 50 Fun for 50 sale, which I did with Sarah, Sarah. So if there is anything that I think you'd be interested in knowing what that was or what the fabric was, I have got that tells me that. But there's some of them that I won't be able to remember. So I'm actually going to pull out one of the first things that I started stitching when I came back to stitching. So this was stitched in the end of 2021. So this is we just in the UK, COVID was still around and we still had to isolate if we got COVID, and this was stitched. So this is from, can't remember, if I can remember I'll pop it on. So I stitched this the Christmas of 2021, and I stitched this for Felicity. It's on a 28 count lamb's wool, and as you can see, it's stitched 2 strands of floss over 2 threads, 2 linen holes. You know what I mean. So it's 2 over 2. I loved this, and I can remember, so Simon and I both caught COVID, and I wanted to stitch this for Felicity for Christmas, and actually I think Christmas was on a Saturday maybe, and on the Sunday before Christmas, or the Saturday before Christmas, the week before Christmas, Simon came down with COVID, and by the Monday I'd come down with COVID as well. Felicity didn't, so Christmas was kind of scuppered because my mum, it was still that time where we didn't really know the effects of COVID, and you know, my mum's in her 70s, so she didn't want to come over for Christmas dinner. So we had a bit of a miserable Christmas, and poor Fliss, so Simon and I pretty much spent all our time in this room, me here stitching and him at the other end of the table writing, and Fliss had the run of the house, and she did a lot of dancing, a lot of playing around, and I think that was the Christmas that she said she'd been able to do splits before COVID, and then obviously all her dance classes and gym classes stopped. So by the time she started to go back to dance, she couldn't do the splits anymore. And that Christmas she was like, right, I'm going to get fit and be able to do the splits again. And she did it over that Christmas because that's just all she did, dance around and play. And this is all I did, I stitched. And so this is it. Now, I know how I'm going to finish this because actually I have started finishing this. And this is where I am going to open the box of fabrics just to see if I can show you. Oh, sorry, I'm bashing away at you. Just to see if I can show you the fabric. So I have planned with this to make a pillow, make a cushion, and it's going to be quite big. I think I have already cut that out to size. And I have this beautiful fabric from Annie Downs. Now, many of you will know Annie Downs from Hatched and Patched. She's a quilt designer and she does the most beautiful, that's upside down, isn't it? She does the most beautiful fabrics as well. And this is a fabric that I bought a couple of years ago because I was inspired. My friend Becky, who I've spoken to you about before, who taught me how to quilt, she put this up on her Instagram, or she sent me a photo of it and said, oh, I bought this amazing fabric. And I was like, oh, I have to go and buy it too. So that's that is what will go on the back. And then it's got a whole range. Oh, I should have been a little bit more prepared instead of doing this off the cuff. It's got some more, yeah, it's got more that goes with it. And I might have already cut out a little bit already. I can't quite remember, but it's got, yeah, it's got some fabric that matches it. It was a set, so it's a Henry Glass one, so designed by, here we go, it's Celebrating Christmas by Annie Downs of Hatched and Patched for Henry Glass and Co. So it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. So this is one of the fabrics that I'm going to use to make a cushion. And I've got the cushion as well. I've got, it's kind of, that's the, so I think I've planned to do a border at the top, a border all the way around, and then backing. So that's not far off. I'm just thinking, now I've taken the lid off the fabric. Where am I going to put everything? I was going to put everything into piles that would then be piles of, well, these are all the cushions. These are all the things that I might do little pillows with. These are all the things I'm going to frame. It's not going to happen. It's just going to be absolutely chaos in here by the time I finish. So that was number one. I'm going to keep a track. That was number one. Number two. Let's have a look. Oh, this is a Barbara Anna. This should be a really quick and easy one. So that's a Barbara Anna. I can't remember what it was called. Is it a spring one? I think it might be spring. And I think actually, I think the word spring might have gone in underneath there. This is one that came out of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. Can't tell you which issue. That would make a really quick and... Oh, right. It's either going to be a little pillow or a hoop. I've got a good number of hoops. That'd be a really quick and easy one to either get in a hoop or do as a little pillow, wouldn't it? And I think the thing that has really driven me actually to try and get some finishes are that I have only just taken my Christmas stitching out of my dough bowl downstairs in the lounge, and I've got a lot of Christmas, I've got quite a lot of Halloween. I love stitching Halloween, I haven't really got much kind of spring or summer because I think it's all on more neutral things. I think it's all in this box. So at the moment my dough bowl has got some things in it. I've got some beautiful gifts in it actually, things that friends have stitched, but I'd really like to get quite a few of the things that are in here out rather than sitting in a box. So I think for that one, a little cushion for a little pillow for the dough bowl, or a hoop. Oh, now this is another old one as well. So this is a Cottage garden, and this is one of the first ones that I stitched. I'd stitched this I think before I came on Flosstube actually. So let's just get the board. That isn't there. There it is. Oh, I've got an idea for this one actually. I was going to do, so I was originally going to frame this one. Here we go. Love Family Home. And it's a, is it a country garden? Oh, Little House Needleworks, I think. And it came as a kit, with the threads. I got it at Create Nostalgia. It came as a kit with the threads, and it came with a little bling with that house on it. And so this is stitched on a 28 count lamb's wool again. This piece of lamb's wool and the piece from the Father, may you never be too old to search the skies on Christmas Eve, that I bought 18-20 years ago. That's how old this linen how old the linen is. And yes, so I was stitching on 28 count at that point, so haven't things changed. So this one's lovely. So originally, yes, I was going to frame it, and then the other day I was trying to think about what was in the box of doom and what I could do, and I thought I might actually make this one into a pillow to go at the back of the dough bowl to kind of hold things up, because I think I'm not, you know, it's not badly stitched, but I've got things now that I'm much more will enjoy looking at frame on the wall. I have also got, though, so this, I got a box of Clarins stuff for my birthday from Felicity and Simon, and the box is a bit dusty and it needs a little bit of attention, but actually I could do a kind of take it apart a little bit and give it a good glue back together. But I could actually put something on the top. So let's just fold this slightly. This might be perfect size actually, just to go on the top. So I'd do that. I'd mount it on a piece of mount board and probably put some batting behind it to give it a bit of bounce, and then stick that onto there. So actually, that's a genius idea. I like that idea a lot. Let's not put that back on the ironing board. So either a cushion or a box for that. I've got another box as well that I got some other 50th birthday presents in. So I've got which is a similar size, maybe a little bit bigger. So I've got two options there. Right, let's see what comes next. What's this? Oh, so this is Pansy Patch. That is I think this one's Summer at Cranberry Garden. No, Summer at, did I start this one last year or the year before? I think it's Summer at Cranberry Manor. But it's gorgeous. I think I've given the chart away on this. That's a problem. I can't remember some of them, and I've given the charts away or passed them on to other people. That one's beautiful. I think I'd like to frame that one actually. So I'll find a frame for that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 I've shown you now, isn't it? Forgetting to count as well. So number 5. Oh, this is one from last year. This is a 2024 one. This is Brenda Jet. Love this one. I am going to need to use the board, aren't I? Because I think the sun. So this is Hen and Chicks from Brenda Jet. This is gorgeous. Love, love, love. I think a little pillow actually. I think a little pillow. I love this one. I think I've given this one. I think I've given the chart. I think I might have given it to Elaine, but I'm not sure. So that was number 5. Number 6. Oh, this is another one stitched on a 32 count with 2 strands over 2. This is Blackbird from Blackbird Designs. This is part of the Magical Mystery Tours. This is a Beatles one. Now I've done Blackbird. I've done Eleanor Rigby. That's in here. I'm currently stitching Strawberry Fields, and I've also got Octopus Garden and Yellow Submarine to stitch. I was just thinking I think I'll frame all of them and have them in a little montage together. Do I wait and put them all in similar frames? This is possibly one that I will put to one side for now until I decide what I want to do with all of them, and maybe come back to that one. So that was number 6. Number 7, oh, you've seen this one quite a bit. It hasn't been finished all that long, and it is the Twin Bird pincushion from Girl with the Gavel Stitches, and this was the first one that Sarah and I did last year, 2020, for Fun for 50 Sal. You can see there I've got my Fun for 50. I loved this one. This is going to be a mattress finish. This has to be done, doesn't it? That has to be done in the next 6 weeks. Stitching My Way to Happiness. This was the cotton and twine. So that's, oh, I'm going to have to give you a count up at the end, because was that number 6 or not? Forgotten already. Stitching My Way to Happiness. This was the January cotton and twine monthly subscription box. This is on 32 count, white linen. Absolutely beautiful, designed by Emma Congdon, Stitch Rovia, and I stitched this as part of my Best of British Sal. So British designer, British company that was doing the subscription box. Fantastic. I think so. I thought I'd lost the hoop that came with this, and then someone else mentioned that they thought the hoop was just on the tight side for it. So I think this is the hoop. It's an 8-inch hoop that comes with it, because I've only got 2 of these. One I know I was gifted at Stitch in London last year, and this is the other one. And I think, yeah, I think that is a little bit on the tight side. So I'm thinking I might try and see if I can get a slightly bigger hoop for that, to put that in. I think it might just look a little bit better. So that will be a hoop finish, but I have to get a hoop. What's next? Oh, a Christmassy one. Oh, Peace on Earth. This is beautiful. So this is Peace on Earth by Cottage Garden Samplings. I really enjoyed this one. I think this was a 2023 stitch. And it's lovely. I've stitched it on a 40 count mystery fabric. I think I'd pretty much used the called for threads on that. I think this one deserves to be framed. I really do. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I think that's going to be framed. What am I doing with things I'm framing? There. It'll just go there. Oh, now this is a little... I don't think you've seen this one before. This is stitched 1/2. This is a little tier tray from Hands On Design, and I don't think you've seen this before, because I think I stitched it, or I was stitching it for a Christmas exchange, and I didn't get it finished in time, so I think I had to I think I was stitching 2 things, and the other one got finished more quickly, and I think I actually really liked this and decided I was going to keep it. I think little hoop might look good on that one, actually. Possibly a hoop. Or a little pillow. Either or. Ooh. Oh, I haven't seen this one for a while. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a definite 2023 stitch. Although I think I finished it in 2024, because that's what I've stitched on it. This is it called Mighty Oak or Little Oak or Little... Well, it says Mighty Oaks from Little Acorns Grow, and it's from Blackbird Designs. It's from the Winds of Autumn book. I stitched this with my friend Kate, who's Crafty Kate. I'm not sure that Kate's finished it. It's stitched on a mystery 40 count fabric, and I pretty much used the called for threads. However, I did change the colour of that house. I think the house is a different colour, and I wanted to change it, and I was either going to... I think Kate changed hers to red with a blue door, and I changed mine to blue with a red door. But I love that. It's absolutely gorgeous. Really enjoyed stitching it. It was a really enjoyable stitch. I think this deserves framing, and if I can't find a frame for that, I probably will take it to the Nimble Thimble to get it framed. So watch this space. Oh, honey of a tiny town. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it wasted that it's just sat in a box? Oh, so hands-on design. No. Yes. No. Heart in hand. Dear me. I need a tiny town. It's gorgeous. So I had thought that I would try and find some frames for these. I have also, so it won't fit this spool actually. I've got a spool, but it won't fit that. Well, it might fit this spool. No, I think it's too small. So these, I've got two beautiful spools, and these are made by Cheryl, and I will put Cheryl's details along here because, of course, I haven't done any notes, so I haven't remembered what her business name is, but she makes these most beautiful spools. And if you go to any of the kind of northern, sometimes West Midlands retreats, Cheryl does sell at those. So the first one she did, the first retreat she did last year was the Chatelaine retreat, and that's where I bought the little one. So I definitely could get a little stitch on this, but actually Cheryl made this specifically for me, and she made me two. She made me one for me, and she made one for my friend Whitney, who's Crafty Whitney, because we had the Jeanette Douglas, or Whitney had the Jeanette Douglas alphabet sampler chart that I think has just come out at Nashville, and I gifted one of these to Whitney at Stitch in London last year, and Whitney gifted me the chart, which she'd got at the Big Stitch. So that is specifically for that. So I need to stitch that, and then that will get that. So, but I know that Cheryl does have spools that tiny towns fit. Now, my thinking originally had been that I was going to do all of the tiny towns, and I was going to frame them all and have them all in a row. I'm not so sure now. I will probably stitch them all. Oh, actually, now this is a... So I have got... Now, these are fantastic. These are absolutely fantastic. I think it probably would suit something better that's that way, but it might just work for this way. But this is a bamboo chopping board, and it's, I think, from Home Bargains or B&M, and actually they're really lightweight, so you can hang them on the wall quite easily, but they're also really quite cheap as well. So that is something that I could mount on that, but then I'd need to find a way of hanging it or just having it propped up somewhere. So it might be better if I've got a stitch actually that goes long ways. So that's an option. But I might just mount it on something. I have got, now I was going to grab one out of the drawer, but I forgot. But I've got these little, can you see, I've got my little love spoon button here that Sarah made me when we had our weekend a couple of weeks ago, and I bought some of these little artists easels off, I think just off Amazon or eBay, I think in a pack of 8. I think you can also buy them at the works, and these are great just for propping things on like that. So I could quite easily just mount it onto a bit of board, maybe put a bit of fabric on another piece of board and stick it onto that, and then just have it on a little easel just somewhere. So that's an option for that. I need to have a think about that one, about what I'm going to do. Right, what's next? I am just literally just pulling out here. Oh, a chicken. Oh, I do like this chicken. This is a Maloka Designs. I can't remember what he was called. Was he called the Rooster? And actually Maloka Designs gave this away free in one of those newsletters, but you can now buy it on their website. And I actually stitched him 1/2, and I was a bit, oh, you know, I think Maloka Designs are so bright and vibrant, I wondered, will he come out okay if I stitch him with just one strand of thread? And I think he's absolutely fantastic. And I think, oh, I'm not sure if it'll quite fit. That I might just be a bit short on the fabric on the sides. Ooh, that's a shame. Did think, is he big enough? He might just fit. Or I might see if I've got a little frame for him to go in. Or a little cushion. Have I got some chicken fabric? I'm not sure if I have, but that might be. Oh, this is. I love this fabric. So I bought this fabric in Japan from Nomura Tailor House, which is in Kyoto. It's not a quilting fabric. It's more of a curtain fabric, I would say. It looks a little bit kind of Orla Keely, but I don't think it is. But it's quite bright and vibrant. What do you think? Might just be perfect to have as the back of a little cushion. Pillow cushion. So I think, yeah, I might use that. And again, I get really sentimental over bits of fabric. It's so silly, isn't it? And the fact that, you know, the trip I did to Japan was with my mum and Felicity when Felicity was 7 or 8, and it was one of those things that was on my mum's kind of bucket list of things she really wanted to do. She said, oh, no one will do it with me. And I went, yeah, we will. She was just like, really? I'm like, yeah. And we had just a most amazing trip. Mum often worries that Felicity can't remember much of it, and to be fair, she can't. And you know, but my memory's going as well. But we have got some fantastic photos. We had a really, really good time. So you know, I think that's something that, you know, Felicity at some point when she's quite a bit older will just say, wow, you know, when I was 7, 8, I had this trip with my grandma and it was amazing. So, you know, that hopefully will be something that she will remember fondly. Oh, and another chicken. Oh, this is the Nate Nalu one. So this was off Etsy. My friends Fanny and Maryanne from the Soul Stitchers. Fanny is Cross Stitch Couture. I can't remember Maryanne's Instagram name. We're going to stitch this, and I decided to join. Actually, that might. Fanny has finished hers in a hoop. Hers is up already on the wall. That might go quite well in a hoop, actually. And these hoops. So these, I think I paid about £8 for maybe 8 or 6 of. You know, they're off Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I wouldn't necessarily recommend stitching with them. I mean, you could, but I think, yeah, I would perhaps spend a little bit more money on a decent hoop, because you only need, well, one, says me with 3 of the same size behind me. You know, you don't need lots of them, but I think just for finishing things, just cheap and cheerful ones are great. So I think maybe a hoop or a little pillow. Hoop or pillow, either or. But again, that could be a quick and easy finish. Oh, and I love this one. That's another Pansy Patch quilt. Pansy Patch. Yeah, it's Pansy Patch, isn't it? This is the Stitchers Retreat. I think it had been a Nashville exclusive originally, or it had been an exclusive for something, and it has now been released into the general public for everybody. You see, you can buy that. You can all buy this. So this is Stitchers Retreat. It says, where friendships are formed with needle and thread. And if you can remember, I finished this at Stitch in London in 2023, and it was the first time that I'd met my friend Charlie, and Charlie did her initials CF for Charlie Feathers, and I did mine SR on the other lady. And then Charlie has now finished hers as well, and Stitch in London in 2024, we stitched our initials on Charlie's. I think this is another one for framing. and I do want to do something with it because I have got a plan. There is something in my life that's coming up, or something that I wanted to stitch that I thought the bottom of this fabric would just be perfect for. It's a beautiful pale pink, kind of blush pink. I don't know if you can see it very well in this light. It's a fabrics by Crafty Kate fabric, but yeah. So I think that one's another one for the to be framed pile. And I've got quite a good number of frames that I can choose from. So yeah. Oh, little cute one. This is a little house needleworks again. This is reading, writing, stitching. This was a one that Sarah and I did together for a fun for 50. I think a little pillow. Quick and easy. So I mentioned Eleanor Rigby. Here she is. School's out. Can you hear? So Eleanor Rigby from Blackbird Designs, another magical mystery tour, and I stitched this with my friend Steph, who lives in New Jersey, and Steph's is beautiful. Steph did it in kind of autumn colours. Oh, just looked absolutely amazing, and I stitched mine in the called for. So again, I'm going to put it with Blackbird. I don't think you'll see this fully finished by the end of May, because I think I will wait and do something with all of those when I've done the other 3 from the series as well. Right, what's this one? Oh, you see, some of these I haven't seen for a while. Stitch in London 2023. So this is a Jacob chart. This is one I did start last year as part of the fun for 50. It was one of the ones that was quite early, and actually I didn't stitch the alphabet and I didn't stitch the border. Sarah stitched this as well. So Sarah, I think she was a bit cross that I didn't stitch the alphabet or border, and she already started and hadn't thought that could be an option. So I think, I'm sure I've seen somebody who has, oh yeah, it won't quite fit. It's just a bit too big to pop in a hoop. I think this one might have to be framed. Yeah, it's stitched on. I think somebody did stitch it, and again, did someone else do it and leave off the border? And that's where I might have got the idea from. And they popped it in a hoop. They might have stitched it on 40 count when I've stitched mine on 36. But it's very nice. And I stitched this with it came actually kitted up from Marie that year at Stitch in London. So it's Country Vintage Mocha fabric, and it came with Great Lakes by Roxy Floss Co. I think that's how Jacob had charted it. So what have I said? Frame. Oh, you only saw this last week on my last Flosstube. This is going top of the pile. It needs doing. Happy Easter from the February Cotton and Twine box. Love it. And I've got some fabric. It came with fabric and some rickrack or ribbon. Can't remember which one. So I will do this as a bit of a, I think, mount it on a piece of card, then mount the gingham on a piece of card and stick this on it, and then get a little one of the little artist easel to just pop it on, or maybe hang something on it that it could go on the wall. Either way, that's top of the pile for getting done. That's going to hang over the light for now. That's going to be done first. Oh, now there's a couple here that I won't finish just yet this time either. Should I show these in some kind of order? Oh, what is the order? That's winter. Not sure of the order, but these are Seasons of the Heart by the Blue Flower. I think this one's spring. This one is summer with the beehive and the bees. And this one is, I think this one is, this winter? I think that's winter. and I'm currently stitching autumn. So, and I've only made a really tiny start on autumn. So I've got 3. They're all on 40 count. They're all on 40 count mystery fabric actually, but they're all reasonably similar. So yeah, can't decide whether to get 4 frames and frame them all and have them as 4, or whether just to get 1 frame and swap them out. So that will be a wait until I've finished autumn and then make a decision whether I do it all together or not. Oh, another cutie chicky one. Cos for dries, easy packings. I think that's got to either be framed or some kind of flat fold. That's stitched on I think it's a 40 count light mocha mushroom, but so lovely, so lovely. Let's put that in the framed pile. 1, 2, 3, 5 in the frame pile so far. This one's going to go in the frame pile as well. This is gorgeous. Can you remember not that long ago I finished stitching this? It's the Big Stitch 2024 Rotherham Big Stitch Big Tree, designed by Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery, and I stitched this in Cottage Garden threads, zinnia, and the birds in midnight, maybe dark blue. Yeah, I think midnight, that colour, that dark blue. Love. I think that one needs to be framed. That is, you know, that's one that will stay up all year round. That's a really special one because I just love. Oh, now this one, Stacey Nash, Gingerbread House. I had a challenge to finish this by tomorrow because it's Cheshire Stitches tomorrow, and my friend Lindsay challenged me to finish it by the next time I saw her, which should be tomorrow if I go. It's a bit of a debate at the moment between Simon and I what we're doing tomorrow. So yeah, not done. That will be finished into a needlebook. That's going to go with Happy Easter. That is priority. I did message Lindsay because I think I realised on my last Flosstube that had been agreed and it wasn't going to happen. And yeah, and I messaged her and said it's not I'm not gonna get it done. And I think maybe the agreement is I get it done for the next time that I see her. And I think we have got a trip to Abercan planned with a couple of other friends, which is possibly before the next time we meet at Cheshire Stitches anyway. So I'm gonna have to get that one done quite quickly. Lovely little cutie. I think this is going to be a really lovely pillow. This is one of the series from Lisa at Lost in Stitches. Can't remember the name of them, and I've got others of that series to do. I think a little pillow would be fantastic. Oh, shoe, Pinebury Lane, fancy blanket, stitched with Elaine and Kirsty and Alison and Laura and Laurie and the Stitching Whippet, and oh, just a lovely gang of ladies. I think Elaine showed this on her YouTube Flosstube last week. She did an update. I think she was going to finish it into a pillow. I'm not sure, pillow or frame, not sure. That's open for debate. Oh, this is a cute little one. That's Barbara Anna. That's one that Sarah and I did together. I think we did it, was it Christmas in July, kind of last year. We did it as one of our Fun for 50. That would be quite an easy, wouldn't it, in a hoop or a little pillow. So that is in the pillow or hoop pile. Oh, Jane Marshall, I really enjoyed stitching this one as well. I love the colours on this one. Love the colours. This is Jane Marshall. It's a hands across the sea. It's the only hands across the sea one I've done so far. Yeah, I loved the colours of this. I had to stitch it. I think that one's going to be framed. Oh, this is another. That was a Fun for 50 stitch along this. So is this one. Primitive Hair. It's not hoarding if it's cross stitch on beautiful fabric that my friend Caroline at Caroline Stitch Corner dyed for me, and I stitched this with. That is a Cottage Garden thread. I think it's called Cien. Lovely. And I can't remember, I think the other colour was a the light colour is a Roxy Flosco colour. I think that one probably, oh, would it go in a, no, it won't go in a hoop. I think that needs to be framed. Or some kind of, now, one thing I have got, so around the time I bought this board, I think it was my birthday, and my daughter went shopping so Felicity went shopping with Simon, and he's like, what do you want to get Mummy? She's like, a chopping board. Simon's like, why? He's like, oh, for her cross stitch. So actually that is a beautiful one. Now I think I've had, so this is a couple of birthdays ago. It wasn't my 50th, it was possibly the year before. And I've not used it because it is actually quite a big and heavy one. I probably wouldn't have chosen this myself personally. However, I still need to use it for the purpose it was intended. But actually something like that, obviously folded and neatly kind of, yeah. So yeah, chopping boards, things like that are really good for, and especially because they come with something like that you can hang, or you know, you could, when it's got, you could, if you didn't want to hang it actually with the wood, you could put a ribbon through it. I mean, this is just the label that it's come with, but you could put something through like that to hang it. So they are absolutely fabulous for that type of thing. So yeah, got to mount it somehow or other, whether it's into a frame or whether it's onto a picture of some sort. Oh, another Blackbird from the Winds of Autumn. Now, I did try to finish. I did have a go at this one, and I actually got some fabric that I thought went really, really well with this. This is on a 40 count fabric from Swan Bay Fabrics, actually. I'll pop the colour in the caption because I can't quite remember what the colour is, but I can't quite remember the name of the thread that I used either, but I found some curtain fabric in my stash that I wrapped around this, and unfortunately it just hasn't kind of worked quite how I wanted. It's frayed quite a bit, and it's just, yeah, I might have another go with it actually. Now it's completely dry. It's been sat on the windowsill for ages. It might actually be okay. I might give it a go. We'll see. Watch this space. Watch this space. Right, what's next? Oh, this is a 2023. And this was one I think I treated myself to for my birthday. And it is Maximum Cross Stitch, and it's September's Revenge. So I stitched it in the September of 2023. So it's on Roxy Flosco, I think it's Panettone, and it's all with the cord for Roxy Flosco. I bought it kitted up. So really, oh yeah, I think that needs to be framed. It's absolutely beautiful. I wish I'd perhaps stitched it a little bit further over so I had a little bit of this fabric to use for something else, but there might just be some little tiny bits left that I can do little tiny smalls on. There's lots of little tiny stitchy things in the cookbook from Nashville that I've been looking at that would be absolutely fantastic. Oh, another framed one. So Mama Loves You GB, Thee Not a Dunce. This is Maryanne Kettle, 1838. I did this in 2023 for Black Sample in November. Love it. So I think that needs to be framed. I bet I've got a frame that will fit that actually. I bet I've got a frame. Oh, another one that I did think I would frame, and actually this one's turned out a lot smaller than I anticipated it. This is Heartstring Samplery. So it's Beth Twist. This is Go Tell It on the Mountain. I stitched this on a even weave from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics, 40 count. Beautiful colour. So I think that one needs to be framed as well. Oh, nice bright spring one, a summer one. So you can tell who those flowers are by. So that is a Yasmin's Made with Love. That is the summer bouquet, and it's stitched on Beautiful by Fabrics by Crafty Kate. I think a cushion, a little pillow with that one to go in the dough bowl. Oh, I love this one as well. This is Gathering Strawberries. Is it by Annie Bees? I think. Beautiful Tom and Lily Creations pink fabric. It's 32 count. Even weave. Love it. Pretty much stitched with the called for threads, I think. And I did add an extra chicken in. So we had all our chickens in. So that needs to, I think that one's going to be framed. The framing pile's getting rather big. Oh, now. Barbara Anna, Garden of Dreams. That's stitched on a 30, that's 36 count even weave. Fabrics by Crafty Kate. It was fabric of the month. And I liked the colour that I wouldn't have normally bought even weave, but I liked the colour of the even weave because I thought it was a perfect background for that. So I didn't have to stitch the green in the background. And I also got the linen that month as well. That I'm thinking I've got far too much that needs framing. Would that go in a hoop? Possibly, actually. I might need to buy some paints for these hoops. If you paint your hoops, could you let me know what type of paint you use and tell me what would be good? What would be good for that? So possible hoop. Oh, this is a lovely cutie. So this is a little strawberry. This is a really quick and easy finish. Well, it's easy to make the strawberry. It's the top that's a little bit harder of what to know how to decorate it on the top, I think. But I'm sure I've got some nice felt or some pink fabric I could make a leaf with. This is a Blackbird design. It is from the In Friendship's Way book that my friend Roz Clark, who is Roz Clark Crafts on YouTube and on Instagram. Roz bought the book for both Sarah and Sarah and I both stitched this as part of our Fun for 50 sale. It's on a 40 count mystery fabric, so there's a whole nother side that I could use, but yeah, I think that needs to be finished pretty quick. Let's put that on the initial pile of first things to do. We're getting there. There's only a few more down here. Oh, now I don't think you've seen this before. I think I stitched this to give it to somebody and then I forgot about it and it's ended up in the box of doom. It is Heart in Hand. It's a little bee. I think it perhaps just needs some beads on it and then it needs finishing. Oh, right, what to do with this one? So this is the Dreaming of Summer Sal from Love Poppet from last year. I was kindly gifted this one by Clara at Love Poppet to stitch along, and I did my usual trick of changing to stitch it 1/2, which I think it came out really well. And it's on 32 count even weave fabric. So I think possibly that needs to go in the frame to be framed pile. So there's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 at the moment in the to be framed pile. But actually we're at the bottom of the box. I've only got 2 more to show you. So we'll go with another Love Poppet one. Actually, you've seen this one recently. That's my finish of Rocking Robin. And I did think, yeah, that might go in a little frame. Or I did show these on my Flosstube a couple of weeks ago. Some little boards, a mini sharing board that I bought from B&M Retail. And I'm just going to measure across for you to tell you the size of this, because I know that I think my friend Zoe asked me and I haven't got back to her yet, but I'm sure if Zoe would like to know, the rest of you might like to know as well. So the diameter all the way across from one side right to the other is 5.5 inches. So if you wanted to use the back, that's 5.5 inches, and then this little bit in the middle is 4.5. So yeah, that's 4.5 there. So you could mount something there in that middle bit, and then you could put something around the edge, maybe some chenille trim or something, just to give it a little bit of a decorate. So actually, wherever I put the little little robin, there he is, could maybe on the front there, or in a hoop. Either or. The last one in here is from last year, and it's Lila's Studio, Love is Patient. This is a freebie that Lila has on her website. Again, I stitched this with Sarah, and she finished it way before me. My friend Alex, who's at Salek Stitches, also stitched this and finished it way in front of me. And I think Alex has definitely finished it. I think she made it into a cushion. I think Sarah has as well, actually. So, and I had planned to do it for Valentine's Day 2 months ago, but didn't. I think that was going to be a bit of an awkward one to frame because of the shape. It might not be actually. It might actually be okay. Either frame or a cushion. Frame or a cushion. So yeah. Now that's it. That's all I've got. That was quite a lot though, and I'm up to nearly an hour. Some of the things that I kind of thought I would show you just for ideas are, you know, somebody gave me these jars. I think I won them in the raffle at the Châtelet retreat last year actually, and that would not be a bad thing to use if you wanted to have a bit of a drum. Also, my friend gave me Feel menopause tablets, but actually I also nicked one out of my daughter's bedroom. She had a brush kit that was in her, but you know, sometimes you buy things in these little tubes, but actually you could possibly use these for drums. So I might just have a look if there's anything I could use for either of those two. I also bought these at, where did I get these? I got these at B&M Retail. I was going to do something. So the little cushions I made for Sarah and Marie for our stitchy weekend a couple of weekends ago, I was actually thinking initially I would put the stitches on the top of these, but it wasn't quite the right size, so I didn't. But these are fabulous little jars that you could mount your little stitch on the top of that, and I've got two. So actually they do oh, £1.50. £1.50. They do actually stack, but so you know, you could either just do it on one and stack them, or just have them out not stacking if you had more than one thing. So I've got those. You saw my little board, my to-do list. Haven't got very far with my to-do list. I probably should write some notes and keep myself a bit more organised. But again, that is something that you could use. I think I haven't really thought of anything to put this on this time, because most of my things are kind of landscape rather than portrait. But if I have something that's a bit more portrait, this would come in very useful. But I have got lots of frames. I mean, I bought this. This was one that was originally $5.99 at TK Maxx, and it's been reduced. It's got the original price was $5.99, and they've made it cheaper. That's one that actually Mighty Oak might look pretty good in that. And again, you know, this is one from the range in the UK. It's a Maison antique frame. That's an 8x6, $3.99. So not expensive to have to, but it's obviously just finding the right project for it that fits well. and fitting it in. And then did I really have much? I don't think I really had any Christmassy stuff in there, did I? I'm quite good at trying to get Christmas stuff finished and up on the wall. But I did a couple of years ago. Now, I know Michelle at Mama Loves You GB showed these a few years ago. And you still can get them, but I think they might have wording on them the last year that they did these little sleighs. And they're really good. This one, I'm quite lucky. This one does kind of stand up. But I still haven't found anything to do on that. So that's a definite one that I need to find something that will go on that. Right, I think that's about me done. My daughter's home from school and she's over there pulling faces at me, so I'm going to go and say hi to her. But it's been lovely just to go through that box of doom. This is the final number of whips. No, they're not whips, are they? The final number of finishes that I had in the box of doom, and I'm going to try and halve it in the next 6 weeks. So I'm going to come back at the end of May and show you where I've got to and how many I've managed to do. And I think it's just time to finish, isn't it? Because that sun's just come round and is playing with the light a little bit. So lovely to see you. Happy stitching, everybody. Take care. Bye.